YouTube. You should be online and working as well. Beg your pardon. Rush dinner. Had to get things taken care of a little quicker than usual. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here and get things going for Facebook. And of course, naturally, I would forget the stream key. So just give me just 1 second here, and we'll go from there. If you're just joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stand by. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Fortunately, not entirely too much, and hopefully, again, that's the way it'll stay into the weekend. So for right now, little, if anything, really that's going to be causing us too much of any problems for outdoor activities. So if you have plans for outdoors, go ahead and keep them. You should be okay, but we could be looking at the potential for some more problems out there next week. More potential of showers and thunderstorms. Not seeing anything at this point in the way of anything involving huge amounts of rain or severe weather, but once again, we are behind very much for the year, approaching 8 inches once again. So we could really use some help in that department, but we're going to see what goes on there in just a little bit. Twitch and YouTube, welcome to the show. We're getting Facebook lined up here and will be with us in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. Numbers tonight should be very pleasant. Not seeing any big changes up or down on the temperatures coming up anytime soon. We'll be on the warm side, though, as we go into next week. That's going to be important, so we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. If you got anything in the way of comments or questions, please let us know. Drop them into any comment into the comments section. We'd love to know where you're from, what you're doing weather-wise in a particular area. So go ahead and give us an idea as to, excuse me, what you may have going on there. Just say hi if you want. Drop some locations into the comments section. We'd love to see a little bit more about what it is that you're doing out there. And with Facebook online, and here we go. So for tonight, all right, that gets us all lined up and ready to go. If you are just joining us, it is Wednesday evening. It is just about 10 before 10 Eastern time, and a pleasant evening out across the area. Not any big changes for tonight. There are a few passing showers, but again, that's about all that we really have to be talking about for this evening. Best chance of rain after that, well into next week. So the next best potential of getting anything in the way of what can help us in the way of rainfall is going to be quite some time away. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek from the WDEF-TV News 12 studios in downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee. Right along Broad Street. If you're, again, just joining us, if you've never been here before, drop your location and say hi into the comments section. If you have any questions about the forecast around this area of the country, or if you're out there somewhere else beyond the News 12 viewing area, go ahead and ask questions. If you have them, we'll do our best to answer them in the time that we have. Usually we're on here for give or take about 20, 25 minutes, somewhere in there. And for those of you who are tuning in on Twitch and YouTube, this is not your more frenetic, more incredibly jazzy type of podcast. This is all about weather, and we focus in, again, on our particular area. So that's what we talk about here. This is what we enjoy doing, bringing weather information to the public to see what the situation is. And if anybody has any questions, definitely want to feel free to ask on that. We'll bring you more details about the rest of the forecast in just a little bit, but for now, let's go ahead and get moving and show you a little bit more about what we're looking at in the near future. Starting with tomorrow morning, kids, teachers, administrators, principals, everybody on the service staff out and about in the morning. It will be brisk, temperatures back in the lower 50s. We should not be seeing too much of a problem with visibility. Could be some patchy fog out there, but that should be probably about all that we wind up with. Otherwise, for dismissal time tomorrow afternoon, temperatures will be back in the low 70s. So comfortable, dry overall, beautiful day, no major problems being seen out there. Thanks a lot to News 12 viewer Ned Smith from the Wildwood area. Harkening back to a time frame when we didn't have to worry about pollen, mosquitoes, heat waves, heat indexes, anything like that. A little bit of winter weather there for you for our HEP heating weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, we'd love to see what you're seeing, so please go ahead and send them in to us. You can drop them by email, no question about that. You can also, again, go to our website or our social media pages, and you can find out more there. Again, please give us a description and or location so that we can tell what you were looking at, where, so we don't have to guess or make the wrong assumption about where you happen to be. So please let us know on that, and expecting a heavy shark backup in the Tennessee Aquarium at the Secret Reef camera. Thanking them for letting us borrow some of their camera work for this evening. But please, if you have anything involving weather, that's what we like to see. So go ahead and send those in to us. We are still in trouble where it comes to rainfall. We are now back to 7.5 inches below normal for this time of the year. And a couple of weekends ago, we got some pretty decent amounts of rainfall taking place. So that dropped us down into the -6 category. We've been creeping up or down, depending on your definition, for the deficit there ever since. So 7.5 inches behind for the year 2026. It's going to take us that much plus just to get us a surplus for this time of the year. We have spent most of the year behind on the rainfall. We are now back behind on the rainfall for the month, deficit of almost half an inch for the month of May. Temperatures very close to normal, looking good there, not pushing a record high or low temperature. So some very good news on that. Heading out the door for a round of golf tomorrow, or anything having to do with outdoor activities, you should be doing okay. I would suggest the sunblock because plenty of sunshine. Could be looking at the potential of some sunburn. Got to remember to take care of your skin while you're out and about chasing that white ball around the course. So please use caution. A little breezy, but otherwise, again, not really looking at too much in the way of problems for out and about stuff. The one problem that we do have is the possibility of more pollen affecting the nasal cavities. Looking out toward Lookout Mountain, Ruby Falls, downtown along Highway 27, looking off to the southwest tonight. Beautiful view of Jupiter and Venus, not in this particular view here, but looking out a little farther to the west. Some good stargazing weather if you get out and about away from town. And as of right now, it's pleasant. Temperatures back to about the low 70s. Winds out of the northwest after our latest cold front rolled on through, and decently dry. That is what is helping us stay decently dry for the possibility of more pollen, but there's also some rainfall out there. Now, for today, anybody sensitive to these, the worst that we have is the tree pollen. That has really exploded in the last 24 hours. Mold spores are up, weed and grass pollen on the board, but at the lower level for now. So not seeing, again, a major air quality problem, but it is something, again, for anybody who's sensitive to that to remember. We still have some remnant showers crossing the Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia line, dropping down to the southeast, now to the north of Gainesville and I-85. Most of the rest of these showers should be dwindling as we go into the rest of the evening. There was a chance, and a very small one, of a thunderstorm possibility, but that, again, seems to have gone by the wayside for right now. So not that much really happening or for us to worry about for the rest of the evening. If you're heading down toward Atlanta or off to the Carolinas, anywhere in the lee of this front is where we may be looking for the potential of some showers tonight. This storm system has gathered moisture off the Gulf, off the Great Lakes. The Gulf and the Atlantic have basically been shut off by high pressure, and this area of low pressure has managed to dig the moisture out from the Gulf and push it ahead into the Caribbean and the Western Atlantic. So the chances of us really getting anything in the way of moisture out there from the Gulf to give us a possibility of anything involving showers is, again, that very much on the slim side for right now. So we just don't really have any chance of rain sticking around for tonight. Now into the next couple of days, that is where we will see some mild numbers and then some changes taking place as we go into next week. Low temperatures tonight, pleasant, but a bit brisk, back in the high 40s to low 50s for northeast Alabama this evening. For north central Georgia, you'll be back in the 40s, lower to mid 50s across most of the rest of northwest Georgia on either side of the I-75 corridor going down to Atlanta. Back in the 40s, western North Carolina, this will be the chilly spot with those higher elevations going on. And higher elevations of East Tennessee around and on either side of the I-75 corridor. This is where we will get the chilliest numbers for Tennessee. Rest of southeast Tennessee should be back in the lower to mid 50s. Comfortable and cool, but for the morning, like we showed you on the school bus forecast, something to take a look at. Make certain everybody's bundled up as we head out the door into tomorrow morning. So definitely want to make certain you're planning ahead for that. That early morning jog, Kay Blevins, my co-anchor, if you're listening, it will be rather on the brisk side out there, so please pay attention to that and make certain you dress appropriately. The Weather 101 weather education program from the National Weather Service in Nashville is winding down. The spring semester started way back into and around areas of March. It's gone through April, now most of May, and then we start to see the summer take over and not much goes on. The weather education seminar will be coming to an end on May the 21st, so we still have a few topics left to go. If you have not had a chance to participate in this, the next one is going to be very important if you are going to be going to a beach, especially anything in the way of out around involving an ocean. This is important because what happens with winds and also with anything involving the flow of the ocean, water can build up right up against the shoreline, and when that happens, that water has to go someplace. So some of that water builds up near the shoreline, but then it goes racing back out again as a kind of a channel develops, and this is called a rip current. This is very important to know about because if you get caught in one of these things, you can survive them, but you need to know what to do. It's called breaking the grip of the rip, not fighting it, but kind of like going with the flow pretty much. So if you'd like to know more about rip currents, tune in at 10 o'clock Thursday morning. That'll be, again, Central Time for all of these. Topic will be rip currents, courtesy of the National Weather Service in Nashville. So stop by for some more details there. 38 days and change until the change in season. We're rapidly running out of spring, and we'll be heading into and around the summer season here pretty soon. So we're not too far off from the much more hotter weather. I say that to give you an idea as to what's going on with the forecast. View of Jupiter, if I'm not mistaken, above the western horizon on the Island Cove Marina and Resort camera. So a pleasant evening and not too many folks out and about on the surface of Lake Chickamauga tonight. Temperatures on Thursday will be on the mild side. No real problems at all. Seeing conditions a little breezy tomorrow, but otherwise not bad. Warming up from that point, heading into the high 80s to lower 90s. As we get into early next week, Armed Forces Day looks good. No problem being seen here. And then toward next Tuesday and Wednesday, that will be our next best chance of anything involving rain or thunderstorms. No sign of any severe weather, so good news on that. But for right now, the best possibility of rain is definitely not going to be anytime soon. So if you have a garden out there, you might want to think about making certain you keep that watered because we're going to need some extra help because Mother Nature is not helping us out at this time. So better potential by midweek next week. Otherwise dry and very much on the warm side. Now temperatures are not quite as warm as they were in last forecast period from yesterday, but it's going to be noticeably warm, so hopefully your AC is fixed. You get that ice water around with you, and take it easy when you're outdoors because it's going to be getting up there on the temperatures as we go into the next several days, so something to think about there on that. All right, let me switch gears here real quick and change back over to our main screen. We have a weather poll as well as several other polls for sports and weather. And this one we're coming up on the birthday of one of my favorite authors, the late Douglas Adams. If you know who he is, again, possibly know The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Really great series of books on here. This particular question I drug up from the novel So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. The character known as Rob McKenna is classified by newspaper reporters as a rain god because rain always seems to stick around him and does a very good job of not wanting to leave. So he figured he'd turn that into sort of a semi-hobby and make certain that he was able to count what was going on when it came to anything involving types of rainfall. But how many types of rain did he come up with in the book when he was talking to Arthur Dent? 15, 99, 232, or 555. The actual answer, I suppose I should have put 42 in there. If you know what that's about in Hitchhiker's Guide, congratulations, you've been paying attention. Tie vote for the correct one tonight, 99 and 232. The correct answer was in the book at least 232. He was very prolific in doing stuff when it came to keeping track of rainfall and the different types out there. But when you're stuck in a rainstorm most of the time, well, that's something you're going to have to consider doing. Thanks to everybody who voted for that two-way tie. Thanks a lot for playing along. If you'd like to vote in our other polls, WDEF.com/vote now, and would love to see, again, more about what you are seeing out there, and give us your opinion as to what you have on the news, weather, and sports page out across the area. All right, so for the rest of the evening and into tomorrow morning, if you're going to be out and about, it's going to be brisk, but most of the river valley should be back in the low to mid 50s, decently comfortable. But otherwise, again, not bad. No frost out there anytime soon. Chip Chapman has got your forecast bright and early in the morning, starting at 5 a.m., so stay tuned for more there. And, of course, we'll have more on your forecast on weather overtime coming up a little bit later, so stay tuned again for more updated weather. This is your opportunity to check in and see what's going on, to ask weather questions, and we're glad to do what we can to bring the weather information to you. If there's something more on here that you would like to see, please let us know. Give us a shout. My email address down beneath, into and around Onek@WDEF.com. You can reach anybody here at News 12 by going to our website at WDEF.com. Our general manager, our news director, our photographers, anybody who works here, you can reach them through the website. And also, again, you can catch me on our social media pages, especially Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, which is what we're doing this system on for tonight. So any questions, any comments, please let us know, and be glad to answer whatever questions we can for you on there. Didn't really have much to talk about tonight. We've only been on for about 18 minutes, but since there's nothing really happening, we're just going to go ahead and send it back to regular programming so you can get back to your peak of the week Wednesday duties. And we'll have more details, of course, tonight on News 12 at 11. And, of course, we'll have more with Chip in the morning. And I'll have more details coming up as we go into tomorrow morning. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, southeast United States, Western Hemisphere, planet Earth, solar system, outlying western spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, to quote Hitchhiker's Guide again. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online. And again, Chip's got your forecast coming up at 5 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday morning.